Hello everyone, welcome back to the course. My name is Jessica Clark, and today we are going to be talking about five-paragraph essays. And what are they anyway? Well, five-paragraph essays are one of the most common English essay formats. There are many other lengths of essay, and there are lots of other kinds of essays that you'll be writing, but most of them are founded on the principle of a five-paragraph essay. So understanding the structure is really key to understanding how to, write, especially in an academic context. And five-paragraph essays are used in most fields of study. It doesn't matter if you're in literature or sciences, mathematics, IT, if you're having to write an essay, especially in your bachelor's studies, very often you're going to be writing it in a five-paragraph format. Most professors expect it to be written in that format, or it will even explicitly tell you to do so. So it's really important to know how these kind of work. When do we use them? First of all, of course, for university assignments, it's very important to use this for your assignments. We also use them for language exams. There are a lot of you who may be preparing for some kind of language exam now or in the future, and you're needing to start getting into essay preparation. And this is one format that is very useful for language exams. Another thing is for university applications. If you are attending a university in English and you are going to be studying part or all of the time in English, many universities will ask you to write an application essay or will have you write an essay after you are admitted to assess your language level. And this is part of the process and part of one of the things you'll need to do. And some of you might be a little younger, you might be in high school still, and you might have an English teacher that requires you to write essays. Some of you might be in an English only high school, some of you might have English part of the time, but this course will still be helpful for you in completing your high school homework as well. And also for fun. Some of you might be part of a writing group or a club where you're writing essays. Sometimes people write essays for practice, or you write essays to have them published or posted on a blog. It's a really useful structure for presenting various kinds of information or opinions, and this is something that a lot of people like to do. So five-paragraph essays, of course, have five paragraphs, but not every paragraph contains the same kind of information. And at the beginning, we always have some kind of an introduction, and that's where we're starting everything off. And then you'll see there are three paragraphs that seem pretty similar. There's body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and body paragraph 3. And each of these paragraphs contains different information, but it's where most of the meat of the information is. And then we have the conclusion as well. And the conclusion is where we kind of wrap everything up and make it into a neat little bow of this circle of information. Now, getting into more specifics, the introduction, of course, introduces the topic, right? Sometimes you're going to be given a prompt or an essay topic from your university or your professor, so you have to write on that topic. Sometimes it's a bit more general, but you need to give your writer some context, so that's where you're introducing it. You're going to give some background information as well, so you kind of need to explain more about what you're doing or what you're talking about, and to again give your reader a bit more context. And then at the end of it, you're going to be including a definitive statement of focus for that essay. It's one point that you're really going to be focusing in on, and that's called a thesis statement. We'll get into that more in the course. Your body paragraphs are where a lot of the meat is, and this is where you start to explain that thesis statement, that definitive statement in more detail. And those are organized into three categories. You have three separate topics in each of your body paragraphs, and you're going to give specific explanations about the thesis statement. In some cases, you'll give examples, and it's going to be where the most of your content of your essay is located here. Your conclusion, again, is you're wrapping everything up, and you're we're going to want to paraphrase the thesis statement, which means you're going to repeat it, but in a slightly different way to remind your reader what the whole focus of this was. You can provide a summary. Some essays would provide a summary. Some other essays, as a conclusion, share other related information. It's not a whole point like the body paragraphs are, but it is some kind of continuing thoughts about this topic. So those are the basics of what 5-paragraph essays are, and let's get started on the rest of the course.